Hello. Okay. So, what is mean by phylogenetic analysis? So, basically, phylogenetics analysis is the phylogenesis of evolutionary changes. Means how exactly evolution takes course, and how exactly different organisms are related to each other. So, that is mean by phylogenetic analysis. We do phylogenetic analysis based on conserved segments or conserved regions of DNA of that particular organisms. So what is meant by conserved regions? Conserved regions, they are, there is not so much changes has occurred through course of time in the history, and that segments or that regions we call it as conserved regions. Okay, and there are so many conserved regions which is occurs present in the chromosome of any organisms. Like take example polymerase enzymes, which has the same functions as any other organism, right? To changes or to transcribe or to replicate DNA or to transcribe DNA to mRNA. These kinds of enzymes are constant, but very few changes occurs. So like that, there are other segments of these DNA, structural DNA or structural RNA molecules are also there, right? Take example in the bacteria, we do phylogenetic analysis based on 16S rRNA. In the insect or in any other higher animals, we generally take 18S rRNA, ribosomal subunits, or 15S subunits are also there. And in other way, there are other subunits are also there, which is the conserved regions, and these regions are called it as mitochondrial RNA also. Okay, which where these very few changes occurs through the course of time, so we can analyze what is the similarity and what is exactly differences, which is very small or very little bit differences occurs through the species to species. So here I'll share my slide. Okay, I think so I'm loud and clear, right? Hello, I'm audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So for the phylogenetic tree constructions, we are actually using Phylip as a software. Okay, we are using Phylip for phylogenetic tree construction. For that Phylip, we need to go to the big database, that is NCBI. We can see over here. I'll just write down the NCBI on a Google. Immediately the website will come. So what happens with these databases? It's the databases coming from United States of National Health Library, and the long form of this NCBI is National Center for Biotechnology Information. If you see the complete page, you can see that there are a lot different databases are there, resources are there, like chemicals, their bioassay data and software, DNA and RNA, domains, genes and expressions, everything, homology. Even though PubMed is also there, where we could find a lot different publications, which is quite paid or unpaid. These publications we can find out in the PubMed databases. These are the databases. Now what we are actually searching for, so let's see guys, we are searching for hemoglobin sequence, right, of the humans. How exactly are hemoglobin, like take example, it is hemoglobin is made up of four subunits like alpha 1, alpha 2, beta 1, beta 2, or even other sequences are also there like alpha, beta, gamma, theta. Okay, zeta. These are segments of our hemoglobin molecules are there. So today we are going to see the molecular phylogeny of these hemoglobin molecule as an example. So for that purpose, so just take example hemoglobin alpha. If I write this hemoglobin alpha and I'll search by selecting this gene, you will see that the in the search result the first thing is come up over here. And remember, we need to select it from Homo sapiens species, right? We are actually doing this practical on just single species, that is Homo sapien. So just click on HbA1. This is the gene ID, HbA1. Okay, HbA1. Description is hemoglobin subunit alpha 1. Where it is present exactly? On the chromosome 16, right? It is the distance, right, of that particular gene on that chromosome. Okay, and the allied hemoglobin different gene IDs are there, which is like them, right? So, and it is Mendelian inheritance code, right? So we just click on HbA1. Once we click on the HbA1, the whole gene and the information about gene, who submitted it, what was the publication, where it has been submitted, everything is comes up on the summary. So take example like official symbol in the summary, official full name is here, there is a primary source, then the related sequences on another database ensemble, then it is the protein coding sequence basically, right? The organism is Homo sapien, and there are different lineages are there where these segments can be occurred. Okay, so next if we just scroll down, we can see that the position on the chromosome 16, right, the genomic context. So this where it is exactly present, right? Now one more thing is very important. We need to go ahead with the FASTA sequence, that is fast align sequence, which is present genomic regions, transcript and products, where we could find out graphics, FASTA, gene bank. So we need this sequence because we are going to analyze it, or we are phylogenetically analyzing this sequence. So just go ahead with the FASTA one. Okay, so once you click on the FASTA, you will see that there is a full sequence come up on the screen, and the sequence it starts with greater than sign. Can you see this greater than sign? Hello? Yes?
Yes, sir.
This greater than sign, right? So this greater than signs suggest or states that this is the FASTA sequence. So this sign is very much important when we are doing any practical, when we are doing any procedure or any experiments with the sequences. So you have to put these greater than signs for sequence alignment, right? So I'll just copy this sequence. Okay, I'll just copy this sequence and I'll put it on notepad for my reference. Yeah, so here I will put this reference sequence. Okay, so this sequence is what? This sequence is alpha, right? This sequence is alpha 1 sequence, but like that there are other sequences are also there, like alpha, beta, gamma, okay, theta, zeta, epsilon. There are different sequences are there. So for your easy work, I have already received that databases alpha, beta, gamma. And remember, this sequence is the sequence which we have downloaded. It is the nucleotide sequence, right? I can convert that nucleotide sequence in the protein sequence. This is the protein sequence. Okay, this is the protein sequence. I can download these sequences from where exactly I downloaded. I've downloaded it from another database, that is called it as UniProt. Okay, UniProt, you can see uniprot.org. UniProt is the protein database especially for protein. Okay, I hope so you are getting what I want to say. And if I put here hemoglobin alpha, there it is. You can see the UniProt ID is different. It is named from the P69905 HbA human hemoglobin subunit, and if you click on the entry point or the notation, you will get the site or the sequence, full sequence. Okay, and if you want to get the sequence, basically sequence of that sequence, you just click on the sequence. Can you see the sequence over here on the left hand side? The sequence is there. You just click on the sequence and there it is, FASTA. Once you click on the FASTA, you will get full sequence, but in what? In the amino acid format or in the protein. So this sequence and that, the sequence which we have downloaded earlierly, it is the same, but it is what? It is nucleotide, it is translated one, transcribed and translated. Okay, the protein outcome of these sequences, this sequence. Okay, so here I am doing the phylogenetic analysis based on protein sequences. We can do either way, with the nucleotide, with the mRNA level. For virology or for different viruses like currently coronaviruses, we are doing it with the protein also, like because of spike proteins is changing its nature, and spike proteins are showing the different attachments. It is vigorously changing, mutating. So we need to take a protein sequence of that spike protein, and we need to check the lineage of that viruses, or from where exactly it initiated, right? This is very important information. And today, how exactly we are analyzing what variant is going on, what variant is exactly exist, and what is the background of that variant. These practical, these experiment is very much important, and I hope so you will get it in detail, right? So I have to, like, these are the sequences that I have already downloaded. It will take so much amount of time, so that's why I have already compiled it. Human hemoglobin subunit beta, then gamma 1, then gamma 2, then delta, epsilon, mu, theta 1, right, and zeta. These are the subunits that I have already selected. I hope so you are getting what I want to say. Is it? Just a minute. So guys, remember this, I'm showing you this chart, how exactly there are different methodologies or different algorithms generally we use in the phylogenetic analysis. How exactly we use them? First of all, if we have a family of sequences, different family of sequences are there, we need to first of all do multiple sequence alignment. Okay, multiple sequence alignment. After the multiple sequence alignment, if the sequences are relatively similar, relatively similar means what? Some regions or most of the regions are similar, then we should go ahead with the distance based method. Okay, distance method means it is the method, it is the algorithm, okay, where on some sort of distances these similarity sequences are there, distance based method. Or if there is a high percentage of similarity, very high percentage of similarity, we should go ahead with the maximum parsimony method, right, MP method. So this is how we do it. So first of all, we need to do multiple sequence alignment. So for that purpose, see guys, I have already downloaded Clustal X2 in my computer. So this is the offline multiple sequence alignment tool, Clustal X 2.1, Windows, which is compatible to Windows. I've opened it, just a bit. Did you understood what up to this point? Hello? Hello guys, are you listening me?
Yes, sir.
The one at least should reply me fast, okay? So this is the Clustal X 2.1. okay, you can see the full window over here.
Yes.
Yeah, and here I need to take that notepad file, right, where I have selected these. I have saved it somewhere, okay, in one of the folder, and I need to take that file, just get it. I need to select multiple alignment mode, right? I need to select that file, right? Load sequences. So immediately there will be folder will come up. Yes, so you can see over here I have saved that file in my bioinformatics folder, and it is the text file, right? It is the text file. So you just select text file and open it. Once you open it, within a second actually, it will do analysis. You can see these colored different colors are there. So these different color means what? This is the similar sequences or the similar fragments, right? And uncolor or white in color, they shows variations or changes in their sequences, right? If I can increase the font level, you can see this is how. So this blue in color LLL and R is there, which is having the mutation or the changes, not similarity. Okay, so we'll align that to complete alignment. Okay, and once the complete alignment occurs, there will be generation of dnd file and .aln file. So we need to save that in ALN file and DND file also. So just output, this is the output tree guide DND, and this is the output alignment file .aln. So we just make it okay, and so the file has been saved on the same folder. Okay, you can see here is alignment file is also there, and DND file is also there. So now next, what we need to do? We need to first of all open, just a minute. Yes, so first of all we need to output file format. So in the output file format, Clustal format is okay, but we need to do phylogenetic analysis in a FileLeap software. So here you can see there are different softwares are there, GD, FASTA, Nexus, FileLeap. Here we need to select FileLeap format, right? So once you select the FileLeap format, selection is very much important, guys, and then just press OK, and then do complete alignment, where you can see apart from Clustal, the output file .py file is also generated. So I just press OK. My file is generated and saved over here. The py file, you can see py file is here, which is having 2 KB. Right now I need to go to the FileLeap. Now here, how exactly I have downloaded this FileLeap? FileLeap is available, right, on internet. You can see that. Yeah, Phylip homepage. Phylip is the dedicated free software, and so many current research publications or very big standard research publications is accepting Phylip's data. Currently the version 3.698 is available. So this software, if you want to download it, just go to it and download the Phylip software, right? See, so this is the software. I have downloaded it already, and I'll just go to executive folder, exe folder, where all the programs are there. All the programs are there. Now I hope so if you are able to see these files in details. So there are segboots, retree, prodist, propars, the different softwares, algorithms are there with respect to our file selection. So first of all, I will just delete my in file entry, the work I have done earlierly. Okay, so what we need to do, first of all, we have done our multiple sequence alignment for the that hemoglobin sequences which is provided, right, in the clusterlex2. Okay, now we have generated output file format in the phylip.phy file. So we need to copy that .phy file to phylip folder, this folder, right? So where my phylip folder is there, you can see here. I'll just copy it. I'll go to phylip executive and I'll just paste it over here. You can see hemoglobin FASTA text. Now I'll just change a little bit name because it is too much big. Because I need to write it in a file. HGB PHY. Is it okay? This is the small file so that I can type it once again. hgb.phy file. So this hgb.phy file, we have pasted it in the this phylip folder. Next protocol is start this segboot program and type the file name. We need to start the segboot. Can you see here segboot? The start the segboot program. Okay, and we need to type the file name over here. Can you see my screen? Hello? Anyone can respond me fast.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so I have typed hgb.phy and I'll just make an enter. Okay, so if these algorithms or these bootstrapping comes up, it is showing us that the segboot has accepted our file. See what the segboot is saying. It is here, the molecular sequence is there. They are using bootstrap. What kind of bootstrap? You have jackknife, permute, rewrite. These different algorithms are there, right guys? And now if we are accepting all these things, just press Y to accept these, or type a letter for one to change. So we are accepting it, so we are Y and again press enter. Then we need to add a random number seed or a random number, any random, like 99. Okay, odd number. Yes, exactly, the file has been accepted, and press enter to quit. You can see that once we enter with the giving the odd number, the out file will be produced. Okay, where is the out file? Here. Can you see this out file? Now I need to change that out file name into in file. Okay, out file into in file. You can see now it is changed, in file, which is having a 178 KB in file, right? Then next is things we need to do. We are, because see guys, it is the hemoglobin sequence is not alike because the sequences are different, alpha, beta. They are not all the alpha from different species. It is the sequences from same organism. So there are segments or evolutionary relationship is there, not the what do we call percent similarity is there. So we need to go ahead with the distance based. So we need to select the ProDist over here. Can you see ProDist? Okay, ProDist. I'll just open the ProDist. Can you see ProDist has accepted our in file? Okay, ProDist is accepted our in file, which is already there. The program, the algorithm is actually accept what is there in the folder. So we are accepting it. We'll press Y. Can you see? Once you press the Y, again the sequence has been aligned properly, and the based on distance based matrix it has been generated. Again press enter to quit. You can see now again out file will be produced. Where is the out file? This is the out file. Now first in file, you need to delete first in file. I'll just delete it. Delete it, and the current out file I'll rename it as in file again. Okay, this is the in file. Now again out file will be produced, and we have to rename it as the in file. Now we need to go ahead with the neighbor joining method. Okay, open neighbor programming. Where it is? Yeah, here. Yeah, immediately. Now we are using neighbor joining method for that. So I have already shown you, right? Here neighbor joining, we are going to use the neighbor joining method, which is distance based method. There are two methods, UPGMA and neighbor joining. We'll go ahead with the neighbor joining. Okay, so here with the neighbor joining, we have chosen it. We have fed it with our in file, which is came up from the ProDist. We'll press Y again, enter. Okay, the data is being generated. These are bootstrap values is being generated, and again press enter to now if you say the again out file and out tree is generated. Can you see out file and out tree? These both files are generated. If you are able to see on my screen, out file and out tree will be produced. Again we need to rename them as in file and in tree. So first in file we need to delete. I have deleted it, and now see we need to just delete out and press it at in file and entry. Okay, in file and entry. We have created two different files. We have renamed them. Now start with the consensus program. Okay, here we need to go ahead with the consensus program. Immediately consensus is actually accept our out file and in file and entry. Okay, so it has been accepted. Majority rules, you can see over here the parameters that they have used. Yes, are these settings are correct? Yes, they are correct. Press Y, enter. Consensus tree return to file. Out tree and out file will be generated. So again consensus tree will generate out file and out tree. You need to quit, enter. You can see again out file and out tree is being generated, right? Out file and out tree will be generated. Now guys, again we need to give them in file and entry. So the previous in file and entry we need to delete again. Okay, we need to again in file and entry. Okay, we have named them in file and entry. I hope so you are getting what I am doing. Okay, now we need to go to our final algorithm, that is retree. This is retree. I'll just open the retree. retrieve will accept these in file and entry. Okay, and are these settings are correct? Yes, these settings are correct. Press Y, immediately you can see the tree has been generated. So these are the name or the coding, the IDs, UniProt IDs of these segments, right? You can see the distance, how which segments are more closely related. 2 and 3 are more closely related, 4 and 5 are, these are more closely related, right? So this is what we call it as clade. Okay. Can you see a single from 15 1 15 16, this is a separate clade. 17 4 and 5, these are different clade. Okay, so this tells us that from which organism, like see here guys, 10 11 12, these are the point where two species has been separated. Okay, at this point it is the ancestral one, the sequence is the ancestral one, somehow changes occurred, there's another species, another segment which is evolved and which is become the 6, the, okay, suppose this is a sequence, this is a 6, and more relatively the sequence which is related to this sequence, this is the 14 sequence. Again that sequence is evolved and or some, because of due to some variations, the two sequences generated, and out of these single sequence 3 sequences been generated. Again this evolutionary. So this is how we construct the phylogenetic tree. We tells it is based on different algorithm, and this is very much important, guys. Okay, you can copy this whole algorithm by selecting the module, okay, or by just pressing the print screen and just take it into your publications, right? So I hope so you understood what I want to say, right? Is there any
Yes, sir.
questions? I know there are a lot of questions. So guys, this is the basic software, very much basic software of Phylip, where we can use it to analyze the phylogenetic analysis. I know that this is the first time you are hearing this phylogenetic analysis, but this is very much important. And currently you are hearing so many coronavirus strains, and how exactly scientists are predicting different strains, how exactly it is related to different variants. Like suppose the Indian variant is very much similar to African variant, or the African variant is very much similar to Chinese variant, which is earlier version of virus. So these all we do with the help of this phylogenetic analysis. There are other methods are also there of phylogenetic analysis. Even Figtree is the one of the very good software. The Bayesian is again one of the very good algorithm which is helpful. But this is the simplest way we can understand with the scientific knowledge the Phylip. Okay, chalo, just wait.